Hello everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So we just killed Leviathan, and there was actually quite a bit of storyline with that quest line. As we learn more about the situation in Ul'dah, we learn more about the Baldesian people. I'm interested to see where this is going. Let's go ahead and continue with this. Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. Oh yeah, we also fought Ramu. I forgot about that. Yeah. There's something I would show you, yeah. It's a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Yorzian Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Efreet, Titan, Garuda, Good King Magomag XII, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there's only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Ye, and Yorzia is that much safer for your presence. Do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that's nothing to say of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again, and again, and again. And yet, despite all this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there's no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you've faced on our behalf, and the people you've won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. Of the sylphs of Little Solace, who wish not of conflict. Of the Alamegans and the Domans who stand with us, determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of ancient Alag, that we might be spared the horror of another ultimate weapon. So this is probably the point where they would have forced us to do the Crystal Tower, because they mention it here. Yeah, so you have to do Crystal Tower so they can talk about it at this point. When speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians. And combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles of Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I am before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. And I have a message for you from Ellie. You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino, am I to understand you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. You've been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and help us and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Yozen was his name. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? So we just had big tense moments, and now we are in the relaxation phase, where they're gonna, just have us do some lighthearted fun. You can always tell in this game when they stop escalating versus when it just keeps on getting worse and worse and worse. Oops, wait a minute. You're in here. Hello. Look, it's Miss Ye. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our own very own Doman Adventures Guild to protect all the Domans. Do you think you could train us today, Miss Ye? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coltonut, did you know that Miss Ye is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Ye. My companion and I have but recently become full members of the Scions. I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltonut. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we've taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the art of combat. I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore, we're adventurers. And we were just asking Miss Ye if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? You've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords of Ye? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Alright, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against the legend. Well, perhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Ye? Would you consent to spar with me? Hurrah! We're to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Coltonut. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. Maybe it's Coltonay? Coltonay. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. So we're still playing as White Mage, and I think we'll be able to for, a bit until they start running dungeons again, probably. Even then, I'm not sure if I feel like leveling a whole nother class yet, so we might just switch around to like one of our existing ones. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure how much further the MSQ goes before it lets us get access to the next expansion. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Ye. I trust you're ready to begin. Very well. Let's not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Alright, are you certain you wish to fight her alone? That is Ye you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. It was this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Ye to inspire my efforts, I'd not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I'll add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Ida, what? Who are all those people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. And there's still more to come. When I mentioned Ye's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. While my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison, you best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We'll see you soon. On your guard. Oh, he died real quick. Oh, you were just out of range. That's unfortunate. Oh no, he looks hurt. Don't give up, Mr. Boulder. Zero damage. Well, that's not good. He must have... Okay, now he's taking hits again. You've bested me. I yield. That was incredible! She beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Ye. None can defeat the Guardian of Yorzia. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Impressive as always, Ye. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Yorzia is the most fitting title. Do you recall when first we met? It was at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartano. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Yorzia. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I'll speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Yorzia was possible. It was you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not the land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet, to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Yorzia and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that's now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of guardian of Yorzia, and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Our cause is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the scions of the Seventh Dawn alone. What is needed to tackle the root of the primal threat and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stone. Talking to Menphilia too? Or maybe the whole crowd? Thank you for coming, eh? The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Yorzia. Forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I'd first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the Seventh Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Yorzia together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution will be drawn from every corner of the land, and directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. While the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. The longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than what we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation, according to the scions. It is my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. This is a bad idea. I mean, basically we're saying we're going to raise our own standing army, and the other three nations are just going to let us move our soldiers around in their lands. I mean, even the scions. I mean, at one point we were in Uda, but I thought we were like a Charlayan organization. Like, because that was what Louis Swa was, right? I don't know. The Scions work tirelessly to protect the Yorzia and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, we'll be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. Before I can move forward with the establishing of this precursor to the true, border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary I visit the three leaders and gain their approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask you to accompany me on my journey, and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members, while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know the bringer of light and her discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination is Limsa Laminza. Let's rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Like, Ophelia didn't even comment. She was just kind of in the room. Excuse me. There you are. I'm ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Bluffisvin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin recruitment. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels. A personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant. As for potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they're willing to lend their aid when the situation demands it. And you needn't rage into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates. Once you're satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter. Five potential recruits. Are they, like, marked? They said upper decks, so we're in the wrong place. Bum, ba, dum. Dum, bum, bum. Master Alphinode's new organization. Yes, I'd heard of the formation of his trial company was in the offing. 'Tis with regret that I must decline. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Laminza must needs receive my full attention. Bum, bum, ba-dum. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens well know that there's a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Fair enough, man. Name.ping. That's a good name. I like that. I can approve of that. Who the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodding knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvelane's door. I think that was the guy that just refused us last time. Evident, yay! I'd not forget a venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut to the Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Rio, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes? 3 whistles at the Bronze Lake? Aye, it ain't often I drag my arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? You're looking to put together a new crew. Top tier work. Sounds like a right lark it does. Alright, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Hey, we got one. So I did have an idea. Since it seems like we're going to be, just visiting each of the cities in turn, let's actually use these trips to our advantage and do some of our questing that we have kind of let pile up. While we're here, we'll just do like one set of quests per city. A precursor to United Yorzian Grand Company. While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldix and Vermelius keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, I'll have to be willing to accept some special commissions. But what if I am an armorer myself? Greetings, yay! I hear you bested Blandstair in the Armorer's Contest of Skill. An impressive feat, and one of which you should be proud. But I'm afraid you've made a most troublesome enemy, for he's both persistent and vindictive. As you well know, I speak from bitter experience on that matter. Rather than dwell on this unpleasant rivalry, I would have you focus on your craft. Ready your hammers and pliers, there's much and more to do. Master Lingseth over at the Bismarck has commissioned a new steel fry pan. And as one might expect of the head of the Culinarians Guild, he accepts only the finest wares. Compared to pounding out thick protective plates of armor, cooking utensils, being generally smaller and lighter, require a somewhat more delicate touch. You must bring all of your concentration to bear, lest you risk ruining the entire piece with a single misplaced blow. In light of recent events, which have no doubt left your mind scattered, I believe a task that fully engages your faculties will prove beneficial. A steel fry pan. Not a skillet, a fry pan. No, it's a bomb fry pan. It's an iron one. Am I just missing it? There. And we just so happen to have the materials we need for it right on us. Convenient. But we need it to be high quality. Hopefully that won't be too much of a trouble. So I need to put this there. We've been doing this by going innovation, then waste not. That will do. Where is that fry pan? It's true you're no longer from rank novice, but do not think your posterior is safe from the toe of my boot if you choose to dither and dally. Truly another consummate work. I can find no flaw with its weight or balance. It's not so heavy as to be a struggle to lift, yet it remains sturdy enough to endure the frantic pace of the big Bismarck's kitchens. I trust at this juncture you comprehend in full my earlier warning. To produce a fry pan of this quality would most certainly have required your undivided attention. And I can tell this item received just that. The consistency of the metal's thickness is all the evidence one needs. Whoops. Sorry about that. This type of precision should not be undervalued. In this case, should the fry pan be poorly forged, the heating of its cooking surface will be uneven, and such flaws are unacceptable to an exacting culinarian. Even the sturdiest of utensils rarely last him more than a few seasons. It's a struggle to find armorers who can meet his demanding specifications. I had long intended to assign this commission to you, but your encounter with Blanster had me doubting your ability to concentrate. This is one of those rare occasions when I'm happy to be proven wrong. Your uncompromising attention to detail continues to be an inspiration to your colleagues. And speaking of details, there's one that remains untended. Deliver this to Master Lynx's hand. Another question we're going to have to come back and do at some point. But we have time. Plenty of time. You come to deliver my new fry pan, have you? Ain't she a beauty? With this pan I'll be able to whip up all sorts of dishes and not fret about burning in the middle or undercooking edges. You see, this was your work. Only the Forge Master herself has ever been able to make utensils what I'd consider worthy of the Bismarck. Seems like I finally got me another craftswoman I can trust. You're welcome in my kitchen anytime, lass. Any of these actually worth using? No. I hope you're feeling competitive, Ye, for Blandster has submitted a formal challenge. It seems he means to recover the pride you cost him with your previous victory. He's an overgrown, sulky child who sees his fellow colleagues as not more than rivals. In his tiny world, all that matters is who is the best, who is the brightest, who is the most able to provide immediate value. I'd be lying if I said I did not also take such factors into account. You well know my demand for excellence, but the methods we take to reach it differ vastly. Blandster would run a guild of exclusion, one in which an adventurer like yourself would have been unwelcome. The lack of sense in that is clear. He may be my equal in skill and technique, but it is this narrow perspective that weighed the balance against him in our contest for the Guildmaster's chair. I won, and he lost. That simple fact plays an enormous role in the enmity that now lies between us. I'm certain that past defeat is no small part of what fuels Blandster's present desire to prove himself your better. I regret this ridiculous feud has drawn you into its bitter maw. If it means seeing that stubborn old dodo put in his place, then I'm just childish enough to encourage you to accept. Blandster awaits you in his usual haunt. I've had just about enough of old Hananza's coddling ways. She's raising a generation of slackjaws, what look like armorers, but ain't fit to wipe the soot from our proper craftsman's backside. Before you know it, folks will start losing trust in the trade itself. Years of pride and tradition are crumbling to dust around our feet. Ever since you bested me in our little competition, my words don't carry the weight they once did. Seems like I've got to take you down a few pegs before I can start putting things right. The world needs to know that old Blandster's not to be beaten by one of Hananza's lot, even if it were her prize pup. We'll settle this the old-fashioned way, a 3-round contest of skill. There ain't no point in dragging this out, so let's get straight to the challenge. The finest mithril cuirass you can forge. I'll be choosing the task. We'll leave the appraisal of our work to your forge master. I'll be taking my armor to her directly. Once you've shown Hananza's own cuirass and heard your own cuirass and heard your decision, bring the piece to me so I can see it myself. Okay. This one. So we need a lot of mithril, and we'll need an electrum ingot. We have enough on Riot to make that. But the mithril? We've got a few, but not enough. Yeah, we need to go gather some mithril from the Sigoli Desert. Or just buy some. Let's see what the prices are like. Kind of expensive. But that's not that bad. Save me some time, please. One more for now, and then we'll see what we actually need. So I need... Don't you have ore? I thought you had ore. You had Electrum ore is what I'm looking for. It's not in the right spot. There we go. Oops. That's not what I meant, but oh well. Ooh. Did I screw this up? No, we have one more waste knot. Okay. Alright, that should be good. Go for a... I don't even have it here, do I? Here, this is in the wrong spot. I need a hasty touch. Nope. Oh well. Oh, 92% chance fail. How annoying. That's maddening, that. Alright. I bet we can do it even with the one bad ingredient. And there we go. Here, oh, not you. Guildmaster! Blandstier's already been here to submit his work. You have a Mithril Cuirass prepared as well, I trust. Here you go. This is superb craftsmanship, Ye. The pressures of this challenge have done naught to cloud your eye for detail. In fact, you may have produced your finest piece yet. It's superior to Blandstier's in every respect. You think me biased? Yes, it's true I despise that self-centered windbag, but I mean to judge this contest fairly, and the Rodigan's armor was indeed forged with his customary quality. But it is thus the brilliance of your cuirass shines all the more brightly, for improving on the work of a master artisan. Mithril. Oops. What was that? Oh well. Mithril is a notoriously difficult material to shape. You can see the gloss of these plates. Not a single imperfection to mar the surface. I have cast an eye over many a suit of armor. It's refreshing to know that I can still be impressed. The first round goes to you. I only wish I could be there to see Blandstier weep when you show him the masterpiece you created. So Hananza chose your armor over mine, did she? Surprise, surprise. Come then, pup. Let's see this bloody work of art. That's a nice outfit. I like it. This other Mikote next to us. It's clearly her crafting gear, but, you know, it looks good. Like, we look a bit like a domestic, but she looks like a craftsman. We could be on a farm somewhere. Anyway, you've not been neglecting your craft, that much is certain. I can't rightly disagree with her decision, but the next round will be a different story, you can be sure of that. Blandstairs notified me of the challenge for the second round of your contest. Defeat in the first round has humbled him not a whit, it seems. You may have gained an early lead, but keep your focus. As I've said before, complacency can be your downfall. A man like Blandstairs is at his most dangerous when his pride is on the line. According to the wishes of our vindictive veteran, for this next round you are to craft several items, and you must do so within a reasonable time frame to reflect the pressures of an actual commission. He fails to mention what he considers to be reasonable, so I suggest you work with dispatch. The challenge requires you to forge a mithril-plated caligae, a reinforced mithril elmo, and a pair of mithril silhouettes, all of the finest possible quality. Every one of those items requires an abundance of mithril ore. See how he deliberately chooses the same material as before. Such is Blandstairs' confidence in his ability, his certitude that he cannot be beaten twice under similar conditions. This is your chance to unravel that obnoxious self-assurance, and end this contest with a second-round victory. If anyone can quench the fury of that insufferable aurochs, it's you. Bring your submissions to me once you are satisfied with your forging. Take no shortcuts. I expect to see armor of unsurpassed quality. Let's see what we need. So, mithril-plated caligae. Okay, so we're gonna need feisty leather, and then more plates and rivets. Let's make some more ingots out of everything else. Sorry if I'm going a little slow with this. I want to make sure they're high quality if possible, and I can get them high quality if I'm careful. Otherwise, I would just, spam a bunch out. Let's say go with maybe 3 or 4 more. Excuse me. Ba-dum, ba-dum. We keep getting the same pattern, where we don't get any goods on the first 5 actions, then we get one. Just in time for our burgers. But then this happens occasionally, and that completely changes our pattern. Alright. Let's go and see what the other ones need. Armor. So it was a reinforced Elmo. There's the Solarette. So that needs owl goat leather also. And that's going to need 4 pieces of mithril. Here's the Elmo, but we need a reinforced Elmo, right? So let's see, where's that? Reinforced Elmo, which again needs pasty leather. The Elmo itself needs boar leather. Okay, so boar leather, owl goat leather, and a couple pasty leathers. Owl goat, pasty, boar. We don't have high quality versions of some of those, so hopefully that will be okay. I'm just looking for a spot to craft in peace. Here, right in the middle of nowhere. Oh, we're gonna need more ingots. Here, let me just craft some ingots manually, and then we can take them in pairs. Not manually. I mean, not entirely the opposite of manually. Let me just do some quick synthesis. So if we go 1-on-1, we probably have a decent chance of getting a high quality plate. Let's see if we can make a rivet out of a normal one. Getting an excellent helps. Alright, so the Elmo. This girl is being very distracting. Alright, so the reinforced one needs another rivet. Okay, that's one down. The other things are the Caligay. Ah, it was... Mithril plated Caligay? Is it? Yeah. So it needs a plate and a rivet. All right. Alright, good. Now we just need the silhouettes. So 2 rings and 1 more plate. Yeah, this is easy. When you're starting out with high quality materials, there's not much risk here. It's trying to turn a regular material into a high quality material that's so difficult. But just maintaining quality, simple. At this level, at least. Alright. Now it didn't change the thing. It makes me a little worried. Does that mean that one of the items I have is not what they wanted? Like, it didn't give me a little, you completed this quest. Or you have the materials. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I thought I had them all. Yep. I don't know, something the idea of wearing mithril sandals seems weird to me. Well done! Your work is flawless. I would declare you victor this very moment, except I need you to relinquish this armor to the guild. As for the why, it concerns a potentially dire loss of trust and reputation. Do you recall the time you aided one of our novices with an order of bronze hoplins? I'm afraid young Swithin has failed to deliver once more. He has improved much in his craft, spurred on as he was by your example. But again, the lad accepted a commission he could never hope to honor. And one does not break a promise made to the Maelstrom. I could drop full responsibility for this failure onto Swithin's unreliable shoulders and cast him out of the guild, but what worth is a guild that does not support its own members when they truly need it? Landsteers are harsh men, but not entirely without reason. Explain the circumstances, he may grant you a few extra days to forge your submission anew. Will you yield your work to the guild? Okay. I don't know how to repay you for saving my neck yet again. I'll never forgive myself if it cost you your victory. But the compassion you and the Forge Master have shown me this day will not be squandered. I'll work twice as hard, 3 times even. We're in your debt. I'll arrange to have these pieces delivered to the Maelstrom Quartermasters immediately. See, if this actually involved me having to make a sacrifice, I would maybe not want to do it. But clearly this is just the way the quest is designed to go. Oh, so that we have a 5th round at level 50. Or a 3rd round at level 50. But, like, if I was actually giving up my ability to win, I don't know, that would bother me. You let the guild have your armor to make up for a missed order? What'd I tell you? Those fumble-fingered parasites are holding you back at every turn. It was meant to honor the terms of our contest, no matter the circumstances. You've neither the gear you crafted to show for your efforts, nor the time to forge a new submission. This round goes to me. I grant you this ain't the kind of victory a man looks for, but the rules is rules, and failure comes with consequence. So I don't want to hear no excuses for the final round. You bring your best work to the table, we'll let the results stand for themselves. Yeah, technically. Well, this is clearly a little better once we meld it up. But I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the money. It's 1 point of control. 1 point. And we're gonna have to move to level 50 gear anyway. I must thank you again, Ye, for sacrificing your time and effort to help our guild with that order for the Maelstrom. It behooves us not to fail clients for such as they, no matter the reason. But as is our fate, we are rarely afforded a respite from the flames of the forge. I've recently been informed that Admiral Melvib will be inspecting various organizations, our own Armorers Guild included, and their roles in promoting Limbs of Lemons' trade with the East. The impressions made during this inspection will have a direct influence on whom the Maelstrom chooses as the provider of its equipment and other sundry supplies. Blandsteer, in his usual arrogant manner, proposed we seize this opportunity to have the Admiral herself serve as arbiter for the final round. Imagine how that bastard would crow if you were to suffer defeat before the commander of Limbs of Lemons' grand company. The credence such a public failure would lend to his arguments would spell the end of the guild as we know it. You must not allow this to come to pass. Success in this 3rd and final challenge hinges in your ability to forge what might need to be the most exquisite Cobalt Halberdian in the realm. And as you'd expect, it's one of the more demanding pieces of armor a student of our discipline can attempt. While I harbor not the slightest doubt that you will produce a Halberdian of surpassing quality, let us tip the scales in your favor by augmenting it with a materia, a Heaven's Eye materia of the 3rd grade. Once your armor is complete, deliver it to Sergeant Svinbark at Hawker's Round. And we'll see to it's passed along to the Admiral. Cobalt, okay. It's not that. It's a Cobalt Halberdian. This one. Okay. So another mithril plate. Belt, which we'll have to craft. And then a whole bunch of Cobalt Rings. Now we have them. We can make those. But can we make them high quality? Can we make enough of this high quality? We'll try. Like, if the rings seem like it might be our opportunity, we might make up a whole bunch of rings until we get 2 that happen to be high quality. Just if we can get, a 30% chance. Something like that. I am just 1 CP short of being able to do another craft. Hasty touch. And it fails. Hey, we got lucky. Nice. Alright, was it just 2 or was it 3? It was 3. This one's not going to go as well. Yeah, we did what we could. That's respectable. Perfect. Okay, the mithril plate. This will be easy. Yep, easy. Alright, let's go and get what we need to make the felt. Actually, do I have it on me by chance? I don't think so. I think it needs like snurble stuff. I got the natron. One natron. Okay, so fleece and snurble. Didn't even occur to me. Did we get an upgrade? We did. And I've been sitting there using the old one. My. That's a nice dancer outfit. Right there. I like it. This is not going to be high quality, or very likely will not. Yeah. It's got a chance. A decent chance. But no. And we're out of natron. That's fine. I think we have the rest of the... We got lucky on the cobalt things. So I'm feeling confident. So yeah, 3 good cobalt rings. That brings us all the way up to there. This will work perfect. We should be able to 100%, unless things go very badly. And they did not. Here, let me waste not. And then veneration. Next. 27,000 okay, that was a total of 69,000 or 59,000. 59,000, almost 60,000 total XP. It's pretty crazy. And I need a Heaven's Eye Materia 3. I forgot about that. Do I happen to have one, Chocobo? Heaven's Eye is... It's red. Heaven's Eye 3. What am I looking for? This. So meld with a Heaven's Eye 3. And there we go. The finest armors, sir. Their masterworks all. You can't go wrong. Consider your submission accepted. I think you'll enjoy the Admiral's methods of appraisal. I thought she was busy meeting with Alfie. Yay, but I am scared this is the final round of your contest. The final round of your contest, will decide victory or defeat. May the best armorer win. And she's like, put it on, and then if you have people beat him. Admiral, who are these gentlemen? Where are the mannequins? I find little can be learned from insipidly lifeless models. I've decided to take a different tack. My men here will wear your armorer's submissions instead. Do you intend them to take on varying poses for your inspection? In a manner of speaking. We wish to determine the quality of the armor, do we not? I prefer the direct approach. Beargut's beard! What kind of appraisal is this? You're really surprised, Hinanta? No finer way to test your gear than in the heat of battle. Using flesh and blood warriors is hardly necessary. What are the risks of injury? My armor was built to withstand far worse than this. If those blokes get hurt by them oversized hatchets, then I ain't got no business being here. You agree on that score, don't you, eh? Well, well, it appears your claims to excellence are more than empty boasts. Let's raise the stakes, shall we? Admiral, you go too far. Such expensive equipment is of little use to us if it cannot stop a bullet. Unless you think me reckless, my men were never in any real danger. I quite carefully inspected the sturdiness of both halberdians before we began. You're not the only one with an eye for quality, dear Forge Master. In any case, it appears we have a winner. I don't believe it. The shot punched through my links? What's so damn different between your armor and mine? Perhaps the reason you cannot answer that question, armor, is the reason you just lost to your colleague. Bloody hells. This was a most educational and entertaining experience. When the Maelstrom next finds itself in need of replacement equipment, I believe I know just the sort of armorer to whom we shall turn. I'm the hero of light, by the way, just saying. I killed Leviathan, remember? Congratulations, Ye! It was a close contest, but you've struck a telling blow here today, nonetheless. The question is, does Blandster yet realize his folly? It'd be best for you to seek him out to learn where we now stand. See, I thought she was going to make us wear the armor and then shoot at us. That would be, really, putting your quality to the test. Or at least your confidence. I have to admit, I do sometimes miss the social experience of playing these games. Like, I remember back in Warcraft, I would sometimes log in, just spend, 4 or 5 hours just chatting with people, and log out, not doing any quests or dungeons or anything. Maybe just running around, like, farming or something, but just to do something in the background while I type to people. Come to see me beaten and broken, have you? You've made a bloody fool out of me. I've made a fool out of myself. I was just too thick-headed stubborn to see it coming. Reckon I ought to steer clear of the guild business for a time. Give me some distance to think on all this. But you tell that harpy Hinanza that she better not let this place fall to pieces. I'll still be watching. How very like Blandster to have the last word. At least now he seems to have grasped the idea his way is not as absolute as he believed. After all, the greatest source of innovation is found in our connection with others. Did you know that cobalt was the original production of cobalt? It was through trade with those beastmen miners that we first encountered and subsequently refined the use of cobalt ore. Without such contact, it's unlikely the armor you forged for the last round of your contest would even exist today. There's only so much an armorer can achieve on her own. It is mutual respect and a healthy dose of friendly rivalry that truly spurs the improvement of a craft. Blandster's gravest mistake was to see his rivals as enemies. By walling himself off from his peers, he denies himself the knowledge of techniques which you were grateful enough to receive. His defeat was inevitable. And it was your determination and skill that taught him the dangers of stagnation. You embody everything I stand for, Ye, and the guild is richer for your presence. Which one's better? The boots. But these are armor only, right? Yeah. So eventually you're going to have if you were to, at level 50, you could spend all your time crafting a set of level 50 armorer specific gear for yourself. Instead, we will do that at level 90. This concludes the armor requests for Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. Next you need to do Before the Dawn, as they keep on telling me. And we got a nice hammer. And you can get rid of all these old hammers. The same way we can get rid of all these old white mage things. Alright, and while we're here, let's get rid of a hat. Because we just have too many hats. So. And our boots are full also. We need to fix that. I meant to put that away. I thought I had. Oh well. Alright, so Alfie's been waiting for me for, an hour now. Let's go ahead and continue. Slowly but surely, we're knocking out the 50 content. We'll need to do it for all the quests, just all of them, eventually. But doing them all in a row would just be really tiring. So I'm going to intersperse them as we need. As we can. Hey, Alfie. Your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Linza. A member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast an acquaintance with such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival out at Nafika's altar. We don't use the airships very much. Like we used to, but now we just warp everywhere. I'm getting a little profligate with my wealth. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I'd be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let's rendezvous at the airship ticket counter, as before. I can't help but notice that you're finding things for me to do while you go and meet with the important people. Just saying. Alfie. Laurentius of the Great Swamp! Oh gods, can it truly be you? By what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Could it be you don't remember me? I, Laurentius, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Bascarin's. I don't remember him. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. Less said of my past, the better, I suppose. What of you, adventurer? What brings us to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what's your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the woodwalers have not more to do with me. This maybe is just the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's tool, you say? I'll leave at once. You won't regret this, I promise you. I'm a changed man. I don't remember you at all. I feel bad. Because, like, given your name, I thought I would remember you. But, yeah. That's just not coming to mind. So, you were doing something at Bascarin's. I mean, a lot's happened at Bascarin's. Sorry, it's just, it doesn't come to my mind. Multi-boxer? People wearing identical outfits. I don't know. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let's return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, yay, isn't it? It's been some time since our paths crossed outside Copperbell Mines. You were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Mion tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I'll join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Isildur! You know, let's do a triple triad. Actually, like, see if you can... If you can just, like... What am I doing? Give me a deck. And just, like, make it out of the best cards. I haven't done a triple triad in a while. Match rules dissension. A card's rank decreases in proportion to the number of cards of the same type. When a card is played, if two or more of the sides are touching other cards, the sum of the ranks of the touching sides are identical to the... What? I didn't follow that, but we ran out of time. Flipping my cards all around. Yay! I got the same one. I probably should have used that one first. Then maybe it wouldn't give it to me again. Here, let's try again. Interesting choice there. No, I'm still getting the ones I already had. That's fine. Just for funsies. Are you the Hawk Commander, dude? I think you are. You'd offer this old man a place in your company of champions? I am puzzled and honored by your invitation. Forgive me, young mistress, I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my ladies wrought. I forgot they could say no. You've had 2 successes. Tis not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time as your organization is more organized. Alright, well, like I said before leaving, we are going to go ahead and leatherwork, I think. I don't remember what the last quest we did. I bet it was only a level 20, so we could have quite a chore right here. But that's okay. It's the levels that are hard, the quests are not. Yeah, this is the level 21. Wow, it's even harder. Even further back than I thought. There you are, Yay. Hope you've been working on your techniques. I have a difficult task for you. Mayhap not as difficult as I'd originally intended. I had thought to bid you prepare 100 circles of algoat leather, but instead I want to gauge your aptitude for materia. Ah, so this is the materia class one. So, Goatskin Leggings with materia. Here these are, and they need undyed cotton cloth, which we have plenty of. Oops. I should just grab all our leather stuff from our people. Leather often needs like curious reagents though also. Oh, I should probably extract. Oops. Alright, we'll see how that works out for us. Might save us a trip back. Or at least having to remember. Oh, I need to put this in the bar. And give you something useless, like one of these. They could be worse. I don't know how long you've been about this adventuring business, yet, but did you know that leggings were once no more than strips of cloth or leather? It's true. We used to wrap each leg with a single long strip, from ankle to knee. Nowadays, of course, designs which extend to the thigh are far more popular. Soft, lightweight leggings like these provide the balance of protection and flexibility demanded by the woodwhalers, the gods quiver, and adventurers like yourself. Based on your leggings, I'd say you understand well the importance of these qualities, not to mention the basics of materia melting. If I were to judge your performance on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give you a 6. No, a 7. The remaining 3 points? Quite simple, really. Your leggings were made from skins which were taken from living creatures. The 12's wood is filled with a wealth of life, which we leatherworkers must take in order to craft our products. Do you know how that owl goat lived? How it was killed and skinned? Do you understand how those skins find their way to our hands? To understand this process is to understand life itself. Those leatherworkers whose creations truly deserve to bear the name of Fenil have faced this burden and accepted it. To them, it's a simple truth. Therein lies the difference between the good and the great. Your leggings are fine. It's you that needs improvement. Call me an incurable optimist, but I do not think it's beyond you. Study your materials, learn their history, practice your craft, and keep discovering new techniques. And who knows, mayhap one day I'll allow you to represent the guild in the annual exhibition, and pit your skills against the finest craftsmen in all of Gridania. One day, as in today. That day, should it ever come, is yet a long ways off. Oh, you were mistaken there. You are quite mistaken. Oh, he'll pay, I swear by Louisoix's beard, I'll tear the skin from his. Yea, it's good you're here. Listen to this. An Odon merchant has set about blackening the guild's good name. He claims some toad leather we sold him is, and I quote, of inferior quality. You heard me, inferior. The gall of the man. I swear to you I'd be the very soul of contrition if his allegations were proven true. But they just seem so utterly unthinkable. He claims the leather was unevenly tanned and still reeking of toad slime. It's clear that whoever made that leather didn't know the first thing about working with toad skin. Which means there's no way in the Seven Hells it came from us. Believe me when I tell you, I'll be deep in the cold, hard ground before I permit such shoddy work to bear our name. The very thought of some two-gill hide mangler claiming to represent this guild makes me want to. Ultimately, it doesn't matter that this isn't our handiwork. If our customers begin to suspect our standards are slipping, now we are all not showing our materials the proper respect, our good name will be lost, and our many years of hard work will be seen for naught. We cannot let that happen. Though I'm certain we've done no wrong, we need to make this right. We'll settle this with a display of authentic craftsmanship. Prepare a circle of high-quality toad leather. This will do nicely, eh? You clearly understand the unique properties of toad skin and how best to harness them. This leather is sturdy, flexible, and completely free of unpleasant odors. There's but one thing left to do. I want you to take this toad leather, march down to Carline Canopy, and shove it in this aimer's face. Show the impertinent fool what real fennel quality looks like. You got it! I keep trying to go out the wrong door. This probably does not create a lot of confidence from my guildmaster and I just assumed you'd be a Lalafell. Completely and utterly unacceptable. Shame on Fenil and their vainglorious claims. How could anyone call this rubbish toad leather? About time one of you charlatans showed up. What is this, more toad leather? I demand a full refund, not more of your... Wait, is this... By the 12, I've never seen such exquisite toad leather. This would make an excellent bag or belt. Am I to understand you are a producer of Fenil goods? And you bring this to me by special order of the legendary Geva herself? What in the world is the meaning of this? I am most terribly sorry. When the merchant told me it was Gridanian leather, I naturally assumed this Angerbotha was somehow affiliated with Fenil. I should have known it was too good to be true. A fraction of the time, a fraction of the price, he said. I certainly got what I paid for. I'd never heard of Angerbotha before, but everyone knows that Gridania is famous for it. No more excuses. It's my responsibility as a merchant to evaluate the supplier, and my own damn fault I purchased an inferior product. Reputation is everything in this world, and I've unjustly besmirched your guilds. Despite all that, the great Geva saw fit to gift me this exquisite leather. Well, I too have a reputation to uphold. This gesture cannot go unanswered. That's a nice suit that guy's wearing. That's a great looking suit. It's even got tails. I like it. That's a spiffy looking suit. See, if I was playing a male character, I'd be looking for an outfit like that. Instead, as a female character, I'm looking for something that's, revealing but not too slutty. It was a very nice suit. Excellent work, Ye. That bastard Aimer felt so appallingly guilty, he rushed over here to beg my forgiveness in person. I've witnessed some groveling in my time, but his was truly a masterful display. Bowing, stuttering, sniveling, it had it all. How I wish you'd seen it. A proud old Don merchant humbled by a circle of toad leather. You've improved more than I thought. All we have to do is find out who's making this Angerbotha dross. Our contrite friend said he had been told it was a new Gridanian brand, but no one here has heard of it. New Gridanian brand. It's obvious they mean to capitalize on our good name. I'd like to meet the man who made that toad leather. Actually, should you happen across him, I consider it a personal favor if you would flay the skin from his back and make me a pair of soles so I can grind him into the dirt every single day. There you are, Ye. You're just the leather worker I was looking for. One of several I'd be consider asking, but that's besides the point. Anyway, I have a task for you. Mere moments ago, we received an older gentleman who demanded that we give his commission priority. Needless to say, I refused him without hesitation and had him thrown out. In retrospect, I believe his forwardness may have owed more to desperation than impatience. Could you speak with this client on my behalf? I'm told he was last seen heading east in the direction of the market. He may have gone further than that, but being an energetic adventurer, I'm sure you'll find him eventually. I love how callous she is. She's all like, don't waste my time and don't, she doesn't suffer any fools. So he's way up there. You're a leather worker? Thank you for coming to see me. I know my behavior at the guild was inexcusable. Permit me to start from the beginning. I've heard tell of a new brand of leather goods that was cheaper than Fennel, but just as well made. Not being a wealthy man, I saw no reason to spend the extra gil, and purchased some of this Angerbotha branded leather armor for my boy, only to be disappointed. To an untrained eye, it may seem fit for purpose, but I served as a woodwhaler for many years, and I could tell at a glance it was no match for Ixali weapons. They made it fast and cheap as advertised, but had I known the quality would be so awful, I would have found the extra gil, and gone to Fennel fineries in the first place. I know what I ask is unreasonable, but my boy is about to enlist in the whalers, and I wanted to give him something that would last a lifetime, something that his son could wear when the time came. I swear that Angerbotha stuff wouldn't keep him alive long enough to even have a son. Would you make me a toadskin jacket? Here, do we have what we need for that? Yes. I see. A gift from father to his son to be passed down through the ages. Only a well-crafted item can be expected to carry generations of memories and tradition. A toadskin jacket, was it? After hearing such a tale, who could possibly refuse? Why are you looking at me like that? It was a rhetorical question, I'm not a monster. You heard his words, so you know what's at stake better than anyone. Make a toadstool jacket of the highest possible quality. Here you go. I dare say this is your best work yet. The spalders and breast are made from the finest toad skin. The goat skin backing alone would provide solid protection. It strikes the perfect balance between mobility and protection, and I can find no fault with it. It's a fitting gift for a young whaler to be. I expect that Chameleon would agree. It feels like only a month ago we were wandering around this place doing level 1 quests. Praise the matron, a toadskin jacket. I could not have hoped for such kindness. This craftsmanship is beyond compare. I do not believe I've ever seen finer leather equipment in all my years. My son will be thrilled to receive it. A craftsman that had never been known battle could not possibly have made a jacket like this. Tell me, miss, are you... But of course, even Geva has seen fit to welcome capable adventurers like yourself into her guild. I hope you'll continue to share your gift with the people of Gridania, and give others the opportunity to savor your work. I think this person's been staying there the entire time since we began. Maybe they're just chatting with some random people. I take it from your grin that Chameleon was satisfied. Chameleon. I'm getting fed up with this anger both and nonsense. First that old Don merchant and now this. Honestly, I don't know what idiotic plan they have in mind. It's only a matter of time before word spreads. Quickly, cheaply produced goods may entice customers, but quality goods keeps them. I wonder if they'll even consider participating in the exhibition. On the one hand, there's no better way to publicize your brand, while on the other, they must surely know they're in no position to compete with real leatherworkers. I hope they try. I'd love nothing more than to see those Angerbotha frauds get their comeuppance. To look on as artisans and merchants from every corner of Yorzia cast judgment on their works, and proclaim them a disgrace. Sluggards and slouches, the lot of them. Don't tell me you haven't noticed as well. Uneven seams, slipshod stamping. The work produced by the guild's rank and file in recent days is not up to snuff. Whether it be the impending exhibition or this whole Angerbotha business that is distracting our craftsmen, I do not know. What I do know is that they don't get their act together, and soon, we're at risk of actually losing business to those charlatans. I'll not stand idly by as a lack of discipline undoes the reputation our guild has worked so long to achieve. Someone needs to remind those slouches why they became leatherworkers in the first place, and that person will be you. Surprised, are you? I may question your skills, but not your dedication to the craft. Bring me the finest pair of boarskin ring bands you can craft, and show me my trust hasn't been misplaced. It would be only the slightest of exaggerations to say the future of this guild, not to mention your future, hangs in the balance. Get to it. Show your good-for-nothing guildmates how it's done. Boarskin ring bands. These. This is an easy one. Is that a smudge? One could hardly call this perfect. Fortunately, it's not perfection I sought of you, but pure single-minded devotion. From the moment I took this ringband in hand, I knew you'd not let me down. Clearly, you possess a keen understanding of the ideal ringband. The boar skin, light, sturdy, resistant to friction, is reinforced by steel links to afford protection without weighing down the wearer. Clumsily crafted ringbands have been known to distract those that would wield magic. Yours are so well balanced one might forget that she's wearing anything at all. This is a true accomplishment of leatherworking, and will serve as a clarion wake-up call to any loafer content with churning out substandard work. I'll be honest with you, Ye. When you first came stumbling through our doors, I reckoned I'd have an easier time making you into a saddle than a respectable leatherworker. How pleased I am to have been proven wrong. You've risen to the challenge to become a model to the entire guild. Which reminds me, I have spoken to you of the Gridanian exhibition, yes? Exhibitionism, no. The day of opening draws near. I must devote myself fully to producing our new line of leather fashions. As this will afford me little time to devote to everyday affairs, I require someone to handle the more demanding commissions until the exhibition has come and gone. I've decided that you are the woman for the job. That's right, your next task will be to serve as my personal assistant. Don't even think about neglecting your training. I was too busy thinking about about people thinking that they're wearing nothing at all. Ralger, take me, of all the times for this order to come in. Here, take a look. An order for a pair of boarskin smithy gloves made by the guildmaster herself, using our famous Gava patterns, to be delivered post-haste, no less. I'd bet a month's earning this oaf could tell my handiwork from a gubu's arse, but does that stop him from filing such a tactless order when I'm up to my very ears in the work of the exhibition? Apparently not. Post-haste? I'd deliver a slap upside the head post-haste if it wouldn't have negative repercussions for guild business. Fortunately, my new assistant has arrived. You, of course, Ye. I did mention I'd be delegating work to you while I focused on the exhibition, did I not? What about the customer's conditions? Bah, he'll get a pair of gloves, made by the famous Ye herself, and he'll like them just fine. Boarskin smithy gloves. I wish I had better quality boar skin, but I'm hoping we'll be able to deal with it in the craft. Just from being higher level. And there we go. Have you brought the work of the famous Ye? A smithy's gloves must be sturdy enough to protect his hands from the fires of the forge. At the same time, they must be pliant enough so as not to hinder the precise movements needed to work fine steel. Crafted from boar skin, lightweight, tough, resistant to friction, this pair of smithy's gloves represents the best of both worlds. The simple design allows the 5 fingers to move a full range of motion, the ideal handwear for any capable smith. Your work has admirably captured each of these essential points. I'm happy to sign off on it. You may deliver it to Fen-Il Fineries without delay. What? The Geva patterns? Do not worry yourself about such foolishness. Have I not told you he will know no better? At any rate, off with you. Even a fool of a client is a valued customer. My very first pair of custom-made smithy gloves, made by the famous Guildmaster Geva to boot, are set to arrive from the Leatherworkers Guild any moment now. Here they are. A delivery for me, you say? Oh, do hand it over, and quickly if you would. Now what have we? Hoglets to Hornets and Beergut to my uncle. If this isn't the finest, most comfortable pair of gloves I have ever laid hands on. And to think that they are the... what's that you said? No. I am but a humble, simple blacksmith, but I can read your face. Admit it now. You would demand a higher price for such impeccable craftsmanship. That's it, yes? No. No. Fine, tell him the truth. What's that you say? These gloves are not the work of Geva? Why, I couldn't give two shites about that. Friend, I don't know a damn thing about you leatherworkers and your patterns. A fellow smith assured me Geva's gloves were of peerless quality, and that was enough for me. I placed my order the same day, sight unseen. I am glad I did, for you brought me the most comfortable pair of smithy gloves I've ever the pleasure of to own. You and the Guildmaster have my utmost gratitude. I should buy some new shirts. I haven't bought shirts in a while. The ones I have are fine, but, you know, I could have more of them. Another satisfied customer, yes? I told you worried for naught. I suppose you're still curious about those Geva patterns, aren't you? Allow me to explain. Some years ago, Gridanians took a fancy to a toadskin bag of my design. So popular were the bags, they quickly sold out, driving prices up to a premium. What do you suppose happened next? Greedy artisans sought to cash in on my success. Toads were hunted nigh to extinction. A host of imitation bags flooded the market. I was devastated, as a proud leatherworker and a lover of nature both. But what could I do? For weeks, months I struggled, yet felt powerless against the forces of greed. That's when it struck me. Even if I could not stop others from copying my creations, I could at least ensure their work was not needlessly destructive. I swore a vow the next line of Geva toadskin bags would be made with an eye towards economy, and the patterns used to craft these wares would enable inexperienced leatherworkers to reproduce my designs with minimal waste. Do you see now, yea? Artisans worthy of the Fen-Il name do not need to rely on Geva patterns. They already respect the natural world, in which we owe our livelihood. This is something that cannot be taught, yet clearly awakened within you. Which is why I do not hesitate to entrust you with this task, and why you can expect more to come. If it isn't yea, now you have the look of a leatherworker who could do the work of 3 women. And thank the 12 for that, because 3 of your good-for-nothing colleagues had just walked right out the door, leaving 3 commissions of the highest priority unfilled. A pair of raptor skin fingerless gloves, a raptor skin targ, and a raptor skin choker. I need them, on the double. The promised dates of delivery, yesterday, last week, and 4 fortnights ago. In that order. To make amends for the delays, I personally assured each of our clients their items will be of peerless quality. So, big order of several things. Fingerless raptor skin gloves. There. Needs raptor leather. How did I get an extra cobalt rivet? I must have from desynthesis. We do have enough skin to make the 2. Let's aim for some high quality work. At least a chance of some high quality work. Nice. Lucky. We're getting lucky with the good procs. This is a troubling one. Try a hasty touch. Nope. Well, we'll see what we can do. Hey, lucky. Lots of procs that time. This should not be hard. Wow. 3 good procs that we could all take advantage of. We even had some durability left over. And none that time, but it worked out. Hopefully that's enough. We don't need to go farm some more raptors, but we'll see. Alright. Alright, the next thing was Raptor Skin Targ. Needs horns. Okay. So I'll go with horns and then Raptor Skin Choker. which we can make just now. Don't suppose those horns are just purchasable. No, restricted. We have them in the bank. We just need to go and grab a pair. Is this different looking? Do we look like a new anvil? Because our hammer's better, maybe? I don't remember it looking like this before. Oh, I didn't even switch to my new gear. My bad. Well. Yeah, not much stuff to that. That girl that was standing there she moved. I'm not quite sure when she left. She was there for a while and now is not. And you changed your outfit. Time is of the essence, yea. If you have a raptor skin, all those, yes. I suppose these will do. The skin of the fleet-footed raptor boasts both flexibility and exceptional ruggedness. The rub, of course, being that it is by no means easy to work with. Fingerless gloves are the choice of many a warrior for allowing the fingers to better grip their weapon. Thus do weapon and wielder become one. A well-crafted choker affords superior protection without impairing breathing or causing undue discomfort. And the targ, at first glance a means of defense. In times of need it can be employed to intimidate or even injure one's foe. I presume you are well aware of this. The quality of your work speaks to a sound understanding of material and implementation alike. I see no reason these items be kept for their purchasers any longer. Deliver them with all speed. The gloves to Primo Nelha at Nafika's altar. The targ to Lurik at Carline Canopy. And the choker to a new client by the name of Nahago Yawanto. You'll find her at the Shaded Bower. With that, I can finally return to my work for the exhibition. And I swear the next person who dares interrupt me will see their hide made into the centerpiece of my display. But I'm going to make the centerpiece of your display. You know it. That's how this goes. There you go. This choker, I've never seen such. I mean, a choker is a choker. My battle-scarred papa could fashion the likes of this with his one remaining arm tied firmly behind his back. You brazenly neglect your clients in favor of designing frivolous fashions for some ridiculous exhibition, then expect pay for shoddy work delivered behind schedule? The arrogance of you self-styled artisans knows no bound. I hear even your guild's own have had enough of Guildmaster Geva and her nonsense. Mark my words, the Leatherworkers Guild is finished. Customers these days want speed and value, and your lot offers neither. Slander! I'm thinking we've got, what's his name? I don't remember the name of the other company, but I think they are saying that we can't deliver on time. And if we kept her waiting for 8 weeks, then, well, there's some justification to that. You've the look of a leather worker. You know why my commission has been delayed? I've been waiting for my targ for a week now. This is exceptional. No apologies needed, my friend. For a targ of this quality, I'd gladly waited twice as long. Which is why these rumors of mass resignations is so distressing. What could possibly have possessed good, honest leather workers to abandon their craft? Well, that's not good. Are there actually people dropping out of the guild, or is this just more vile rumors? Yeah, there's that Conjurer's Guild. Hello. I recognize you. You're one of Geva's subordinates, yes? Have you come to deliver my gloves? Here you go. What craftsmanship! It's as if these gloves were tailored to fit each of my fingers. This is precisely why I would never think to obtain my protectives anywhere other than the Leatherworkers Guild. For Geva to maintain this level of quality with the exhibition at hand is no small feat. Guildmaster, there's rumors all over the place. Nahago said what? Speed and value? That mutton-headed Makote wouldn't know a well-crafted choker if I used one to wring her scrawny neck. That said, even I must admit there's some truth to her words. No self-respecting guild would seek fame and fortune at the exhibition, while valued customers suffer undue delays for goods purchased with honest coin. I wish it had not come to this. My decision is made. The Leatherworkers Guild shall withdraw. There are customers out there who appreciate the quality our guild offers. We must see them well served. There'll be other exhibitions, but trust once lost is not so easily regained. In any event, you've proven yourself a loyal leatherworker today. I thank you. I'm pretty sure I've checked all these before, but yeah. in our level 50 quest. Oh, for the love of... Yay, you picked a fine time to show up. And for once, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm in quite a predicament here, and you just might be able to help. What sort of predicament? Only the sort in which I have several hundred deliveries to make before the next bell, despite having just 2 legs. Withdrawing from the exhibition has freed me to devote my efforts to filling guild commissions. That's all well and good. The problem is that I now have more clients than ever, none of whom take kindly to being kept waiting. For every moment we waste chatting, we risk losing a valued customer. Make yourself useful and take this choker to a client waiting at the Whistling Miller. Okay. From the guild, yes. Have you come to deliver my choker? True good quality as ever. All the time and effort put into this piece is painfully evident in the overwrought nature of its design. We've only just met, but you strike me as a smart young woman. Hence my offer. What say you bid farewell to your fruitless life as Geva's lapdog and come work for me? Who am I? None other than the founder and proprietor of Angerbotha Apparel and Accoutrements, Gridania's premier producer of leather goods. As a clever woman like you has doubtless surmised, many of your more ambitious colleagues have already abandoned the Leatherworkers Guild to bring their prodigious talents to Angerbotha. And why wouldn't they? Who wants to waste precious hours learning how to stitch the perfect seam when a serviceable one will suffice? Not I, that's for certain. Angerbotha's products are just as durable as Geva's overwrought, overrated rubbish, crafted in half the time for a fraction of the cost. Should you have any doubts, I invite you to come by the exhibition and judge for yourself. Such a shame the Leatherworkers Guild will be absent from the competition. I was so looking forward to defeating dear Geva this year. Ah, well. For all her faults, clearly the woman had sense enough to see she was fighting a lost cause. Ta-ta, friend. Remember my offer. You know, okay. There's virtue to be said that anything worth doing is worth doing well. That you don't ever just want to produce shoddy workmanship. That's never good. At the same time, sometimes what's being requested is not the highest quality thing. Like, one of my tasks at my work is we're assigned, you know, we like bid on contracts and stuff, and the people that we're doing the work for, we say, we could offer you these 4 or 5 levels of quality, and here's how much each one will cost. And going up a level each time increases the cost by more than the previous upgrade. And people don't grab the 5th level. They don't grab the top level. They grab something in between. There is a balance between quality and cost. You're back, yay. Not a moment too soon. I've just heard a most distressing rumor. Word about town is that renowned leatherworkers from across the realm are withdrawing from the exhibition at an alarming rate. Should this continue, Angerbotha will have a clear course to win top honors. It pains me that I cannot represent our guild in the contest, but the thought that those talentless hacks could claim the prize that's rightfully ours. What's that? Daweed of Angerbotha was the client who commissioned that choker? If I'd have known, I'd delivered it in person and taken the payment out of his lousy hide. Oh yes, the two of us go back quite a ways. He was an adventurer, an aspiring leatherworker, not unlike yourself. We had a bit of a falling out, though. I remember like it was yesterday. He strolled through that door wearing a shite-eating grin and holding a jerkin that looked like it had come out of the wrong end of an owl goat. I told him as much, and the next moment he ran back out the door, bawling like a child. It was the last I saw of him. His sorry efforts weren't worth the hide they were made from, and now he fancies himself a fashion magnet? Small wonder that Angerbotha attire looks like something even a goblin would be ashamed to wear. The sad state of affairs is that not all customers are so discerning. What's worse, if Angerbotha takes top honors, their wasteful practices will be vindicated. Slipshod craftsmanship and butchery will become the norm. I will not allow that to happen. Listen carefully, for I mean to give you the most challenging task yet, if not ever. You are to represent the Leatherworkers Guild, and put that charlatan in his place. A raptor skin jerkin of peerless quality, melded with a gatherer's grasp materia of the 3rd grade. That's your submission. No simple task, but as one who's taken her lumps and paid her dues, I believe you have it in you. The exhibition is to be held at the Mikedo's Amphitheater. A stain has been charged with accepting submissions. Hopefully we have enough raptor skin. So, raptor skin jerkin. That's a jacket. That's a boar skin. I don't know why, but for some reason I always have trouble seeming to find these. Is it lower than the thing we just did? Oh, this is all pasty stuff. We have to be after that. That's where we get raptor leather. I'm not just gonna search. I'm gonna find this. There it is, raptor skin jerkin. I don't know what was wrong with that. Didn't we just make one of these? It feels like we made one of these recently. So we need felt and another electrum ingot. We have the rest skin for it though. We'll need some natron, so we'll need to go. Here, let me see if I actually need to make more. If I just have some. No, we'll need to craft more. So we need some effervescent water, which Rye has. Oh, yeah, I took my usual spot. I do like how they all feed into each other. Oops. Oh, that was I thought that was a hasty touch, but that was a quick synthesis. My bad. Let's try that again. Yeah, I need to standardize my bars. I keep saying it, but I'm never gonna do it. There we go. Okay, and a gatherer's grasp. That's a 2. I don't have one. Unless I happen to have one just on my inventory. Nope. Well. Alright. To a stain at the amphitheater. You wish to submit one of your works for the exhibition? Then pray hand it over without delay. The judging is about to commence. Consider yourself fortunate. Had you come a bell later, the contest would already have been over. I must say I'm relieved there's far fewer entrants in this year's exhibition compared to the past ones, when I heard the Leatherworkers Guild would not be participating. Then you'll be happy to hear our plans have changed. Guildmaster Geva, do tell me you've decided to compete after all. Our guild will be represented, but by Ye here. What an unexpected turn of events! But I must hurry. The exhibition is about to begin. They look utterly identical. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. The judging for the best leather apparel will now commence. It would seem an unprecedented number of last-minute withdrawals have left us with precious few candidates worthy of top honors. Nevertheless, we will proceed as planned. Our next finalist is this lovely raptor skin jerkin, painstakingly crafted by an artisan of Angerbotha apparel and accoutrements. Judges, if you would. Hey, that's my Lancer friend! The cut is rugged, yet serviceable. It would seem that numerous skins were layered to afford maximum protection. Function over form. A Lancer cannot help but applaud such craftsmanship. The tanning work is clumsy, but the sturdiness of the piece cannot be denied. In times of war, speed and practicality are virtues. I would say that it is worthy of consideration. As wasteful as ever, I see. How many raptors did you butcher to create that misshapen mass? Gabba, fancy meeting you here. Stand back and watch as that misshapen mess is named Best in Show. Our next and final piece is this last-minute entry from the Leatherworkers Guild. It glows. You look pale, Dawid. What's the matter? You weren't expecting actual competition? This is positively stunning! One can almost feel the raptor's very life force exuding from this jerkin. Not a single seam out of place, not a single cut of the hide wasted. This piece was clearly crafted, with a profound respect for the beast whose life was taken to create it. It offers superior protection to the Angerbotha piece, while at the same time allowing for greater freedom of movement. This jerkin would be a proud addition to any archer's armory chest. In my line of work, I have seen many adventurer come and go. Rare is the one who possesses the aptitude and diligence demonstrated by the creator of this piece. Ladies and gentlemen, it would appear we have a consensus. By unanimous vote, the award for Best Leather Apparel goes to Yay of the Leatherworkers Guild for her exquisite raptor skin jerkin. All of our friends, they liked our work. Dawid of Angerbotha Apparel, I presume. We are investigating numerous accusations of harassment, extortion, counterfeiting, and poaching. If you be so kind as to come with us so we may discuss these allegations in private. Well, it seems our work here is done. Let's return to the guild. Yeah, wow, that took a lot longer than I thought it would. I apologize if you've been sitting around for 2 hours watching me craft stuff. I think we'll skip doing one in Ul'dah. We'll just go ahead and with the quest. I was thinking of doing weaving, but we'll do that some other time. I must confess, Ye, until I saw your jerkin with my own eyes, I was not entirely convinced you had it in you. But you did. From this day forth, I am proud to call you not apprentice, but peer. As for me, I can finally return to my own work free of headaches and distractions. Though as luck would have it, we have a veritable legion of erstwhile Angerbotha defectors knocking at our door, looking to rejoin our ranks. They think their false tears and trite words of remorse will earn them my pity. I'll send them straight on their way and lop a square off their hindquarters for good measure. Or so I might once have done. But who among us have not erred? Even I have been known to make mistakes, albeit rarely. And so I'll give these turncloaks a second chance. But mark my words, any who so much as thinks of crossing me again can look forward to a new life as a subligar. The life of a guildmaster is fraught with frustration, yet I would gladly deal with 1,000 hapless apprentices for even the slimmest hope of seeing one flourish as you have. With your triumph at the exhibition, your goods are sure to be in demand across the Yorzia, but never forget how you achieved your success. Unflagging dedication to your craft, a deep respect for the lives you must take to perform it. Remember always the values of Fen Il, and have no doubt you'll do us proud wherever you go. There's all the Leatherwork requests. Until we complete before the dawn. And now we can delete some stuff from our chest. All these old leatherworking tools. Alright. Let's go catch up with Alfie. What news, Yang? For my part, the elder Seedseer was most amenable to our requirements. A former woodwhaler, a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike into Ul'dah while the iron is hot? Let's meet at the Royal Promenade. Wrong thing. Ul'dah, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one's worth. I hope some manner of fortune is with us, and that this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest ascending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from our personal guard. Let's meet back here at the promenade. Interesting. So not the airship. I guess because he wants to go home. And they'll probably say, back to Mordana. But I would have said, meet at the Adventurers Guild, then. Okay, so just real quick, let me just take a look at this. In terms of New Game Plus, we have done 3 of these quests, of the Disciples of the Hand quests, and we still have 5 to go. And we've done 2 of the land and 1 to go. So not quite halfway. what a happy coincidence! Do you remember me, perchance? I am Orson of the Church of Saint Adama Lendama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organization sounds like a powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. But I wish you well. Too bad. Hey, it's Mira Nocia. You were at the, we just saw you at the, what's it called, you were doing leatherworking just like we were. Now apparently you're here doing weaving. Or maybe you're on the same quest I am, but probably you're here doing weaving. Mira Nocia. You wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. Or maybe she's just doing our dailies. This guy's name is Conniving Never Do Well. Or probably that's the description, not a name, but still. I wouldn't want to be known as that. Landbert, do I know you? You'd be surprised what rumors drift down the Pearl Lane. I know of this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, you're a bigger fool than I took you for. I mean, fair enough. Hey, Synthgut, you're not going to join us because you're a quest target. A company that looks to cure the ills of the entire realm. Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Yeah. Make sure to keep that ceruleum flowing though, man. You're the lady who came to Little Alamigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead, and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Anyway, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated, and vowed to make of myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions, and it will take me to all corners of the realm. That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Amigo. I prepare myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. You've got a car pet. Okay. Where now, Alfie? Back to Mordona? How fared you, gang? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamigan youth? Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Yorzia's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself have won. Thank you, Ye. I'll not squander the precious gift you placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we're free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over. The documents signed, the finances secure. There's naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You're concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I prefer not to rely on outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. As for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn people's trust, one success at a time. Speaking of time, we shall waste no more of it. Let's return to the Rising Stones. No.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Yorzia. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Oh, just have him assassinated. It'll be okay.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Back to Mordona. That's not a journey I soon wish to repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Yang. I'm certain the antecedents will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Long quest. At least I made it long. Greetings, Ye. Alphino tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Hitaru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late. I wonder if Slothborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Speak with him and see if there's aught he requires. What can I do for you, Ye? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. I barely noticed your recruits arrived. 'Twas barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we pass through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust this means less work for you in the long run. Slothborn, the shipment we couldn't... Godswoman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, this is likely to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Fortemps. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I'll see that they are apprised of this development. Were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Fortemps? I'll be sending them a missive immediately, but I'd also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Harshafant will be glad of your assistance. So we're finally turning things back towards Ishgard. And of course, you know, if you've seen the cinematic for the next expansion, you know that Heavensward is, well, you know some spoilers, but you also know that Heavensward is very Ishgard focused. It's all about the Dervanians. And now finally, we're turning the story in their direction again. Someday they'll even let us into Ishgard proper. Ahead. Not today, though. Hello. My House Fortemps friends. If it isn't my fine friend Yetal Ren, would you care for a plate of roast caracal? Some mulled wine? No? I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll. I suspect the timing of your arrival is of no coincidence.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies or her debts.
Fortom? That's how you say that? House Fortom? Fortemps! Oh god. House Fortom, then.
'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise.
Halone. I've been saying Halone. Halone. Hello to you too.
But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
They add voice acting and suddenly you don't know how things were supposed to be pronounced anymore. House for Tom. Halone. I mean, for Tom, that's even worse. That's not Halone. We were just putting the emphasis of the wrong syllable, but for Tom, that's just completely different. Is there aught you would ask of me? Speak plainly. I'm a man of action and need no honeyed words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say. By the fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning, and are canny enough to evade our most able trackers. 'Tis not merely their newfound organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he's regained use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail. I'm in the wrong place, aren't I? The infirmary is up on top. Tell you what happened. Yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help you catch those cowardly blackguards. Or blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to me to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that's where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. So we went right up to the door of Snowcloak in our previous questing, but they never gave us access to the actual dungeon. Like, this is where we fought the Inquisitor. Well, this isn't good. Lots of dead bodies. Draw your weapon. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You come seeking heretics. Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By right, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, yet they're gone, vanished like icy wraiths. We're so short next to those. That was technically a voice-acted scene. Technically. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? To where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. 'Twill be best were we to return to Whiteburn Front and lay our suspicions before our Lord Drillamon. It appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily. I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. I understand you might balk at the notion. I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Haurchefant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
We're so
Indeed.
short.
And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Giving the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Okay. Tis good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Kirthis? House Fortom is to send us a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Hashafant for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm, in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alpha Node's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. I can't. None of these are white mage. These are little white mage ones. Yeah, okay. And that's a little unfortunate because I would prefer to grab that one instead of this one. How does that compare to what I have? It's an upgrade. No, it doesn't matter. While you were away in Kirthis, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, though Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Head over to the Rising Stone and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? I'm sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Yay, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're all scattered about Revenant's Toll. I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here on the Rising Stones. Report back to Alpha Node if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. And they're outside. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Hello there, lass. Looking for me, was he? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to my head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. Little Alamigo is a slum. I mean, you guys gotta get things together. It's been 5 years since the calamity. Build a house. You live in a cave, man. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I'll wear it with pride. So half of these people we haven't met, because we only recruited, what, like 4 people? I don't believe we've met. I'm Ilbaird, and I have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There's no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. The Scarlet Garbs marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom, and a hardy defender of the limbs of the Mensa. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm, and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. I didn't recruit any Lalafels. We don't need falafels in our army. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes. There you are. What are you all looking at? I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Our uniforms! I'm reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Yeah, what are they looking at? They're keeping an eye on the road, I suppose. Before we go back in, I need to get a drink. Be right back. And I am back. It's still not exactly clear to me. He keeps saying that they're going to report to the antecedent, but it seems like he's putting himself in charge. Tataru mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth from the established grand companies and such. We're not yet an army, but there's as much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope it will so soon be known across the breadth of Yorzia. The moment of truth draws near, yea. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Yorzia. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Yorzia cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Yorzia, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leverrier?
Leverrier? That's how you say that?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
What a hideous staff that is.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let's hope this shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Well, that's not good. Yorzia defended. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added. I guess that was a content patch. There wasn't like a dungeon or anything associated with it. It was just a whole bunch of walking around talking to people. Huh. I guess I would have expected we had gone into Snowpoke. Or maybe this is part of the same as Remove? Maybe we're doing the second half of the Remove content patch. I don't know. Either way, it seems like a good point to stop. And then tomorrow we'll do whatever the next content patch is. So thank you everyone for watching. Until next time.